Happy morning. It's Donna from Enchanted Gardens. I thought of trying to speak to you, lovely gardeners, by giving you the analogy of my blue toilet. I've actually got a blue toilet. It's really, really, really blue. They don't make them that blue anymore. If you think about it, all our toilets are white. They're white and very obvious. If they're not white, they're dirty. If they're dirty, we don't have to think about it. We can see visually. We can immediately see that toilet is dirty. I need to put bleach down it. That toilet is dirty. That toilet has limescale. I need to buy the limescale remover and I need to put that down it. With this blue toilet, it could be absolutely filthy dirty and you can't see it. I just looked at it a minute ago. You can't see limescale, you can't see staining. And what I was thinking was, we're so used to everything being so obvious, so completely upfront obvious in our face, and we see that as the truth. And yet, with nature and plants, nothing could be further from the truth. You don't look at a plant. When you look at a plant that's planted in your borders, you can't tell what's going on underground. You can't tell what's going on inside the plant, inside the structure of it, inside. You don't know what level of health your soil is. And if you could, what would you do? Would you put, in the same analogy as the toilet to the plant, would you spray it? I can see greenfly, therefore I will spray. I can see beetles in the earth that are going to be detrimental, so I can put down some other chemical. The leaves are looking ropey, a little bit of black spot, or that's powdery mildew, or that's a fungus, so I can spray that. I can put a chemical on that, just like we do our toilets, because it's obvious. The problem is with plants and nature, most of the time you can't see. Now, right now today, walking through the beautiful pasture that I've now got with nothing on it, I've got no resources, I've got no nursery, and I've got no garden. And I'm walking round and I have no familiarity to it. I have no plants that when I approach them and pass them, where I used to live, I would come up to the bay tree in the front garden. It was 50p in a church sale. So I popped it in. It was probably, it looked really rough. I just popped it in. It was 20 years ago. And if you visited me at Sonoma, it was brilliant. The number of, comments I got about and the usefulness of it. I cooked with it. I used it in some of my rituals. Sweet bay. It meant so much, and it grew and grew, and it was lovely. And every time I passed that tree, every time I went to that sweet bay, I recognised it. I had a relationship with it. Year on year, I pruned it and I touched it and I cooked with it and I smudged with it, burnt with it, used it for decoration within the home. And I had a relationship with it. Gardeners often do. They have a familiarity. They have a relationship with their plants. But also there can be quite a disconnect whereby you are flicking through a glossy magazine and you see someone else's concept of their garden, of their art, their creation. And you just think, I love that, I want that, I'm going to have that. Right. And you toddle off to the garden centre with your picture, and you've got all the plants written down because the magazine's been very good at letting you know exactly how that person got that garden to look like that. And without thinking it's a garden based on really, really sandy soil that free drains, you don't care. You don't care about that. You want what you've seen because it's visual. Just like the white toilet, it's completely obvious. Yes, I love it. Yes, it's clean. Yes, it's dirty. I can therefore make it like this picture. And you go to the garden centre and you spend £300-400 on plants, and you put them all in, and you feel so elated and so happy that you've recreated this wonderful, wonderful garden. Or you've watched Chelsea or any one of those shows, or you've visited a garden and you've tried to take it, the concepts and the planning away with you, without realising that you need a relationship. You need to walk around your garden and say, oh yeah, I remember putting that in. Oh, it doesn't look very well. Oh, and I've had that 6 years. I wonder what's going on with that. I wonder if I should move it. I wonder if it doesn't like being where it is. We should have a relationship. A garden shouldn't be something you just buy. The plants need to be growing with you. You need to have a connection. I'm non-religious, as you know. My connection is with nature, and that's how I live my life. It's like walking in a desert at the moment. I walk around the pasture. I don't know the hedging. I have no relationship. I have no connection. So really, I've got to make friends. I've got to make friends with everything that's over there. I've got to walk the land. I've got to feel the land. And I've got no clue as to what my actions and my course of action is going to be. It's going to evolve very slowly. When I hope to open in April, there probably won't be much for you to see. At the moment, I can't even decide where to plant some trees, and I've got the trees. I brought them with me. They were trees I've grown, that I love, that I touch and understand and know. They're my trees. If you're unable to plan your next year's garden, if you're unhappy with your last year's garden, give it a minute. Let everything wake up. Let it wake up, come up, grow, bloom or not. Look at it not as, oh, well, that's horrible. I don't like that anymore. I want it replaced. Don't throw anything away. If you dislike something and don't have room for anything else and want to replant, find a friend whose garden needs it. Knock on a neighbour's door. You know, with some of the more invasive hardy geraniums, for example, don't dig them out and put them in the bin. You are devaluing something that would give a community garden, an allotment. There's plenty out there. Contact them and say, got a couple of bin bags full of geranium sanguineum, if you'd like them. Or put them on Marketplace or Facebook, free. Come and get them. Let somebody else get pollinators in their garden with your throwaways. We devalue everything. We control everything, or we try in our life, and it doesn't make us happy. It's not actually working with who we are now. Let nature guide you. Be a little bit more in tune and a little bit less caring about what others think of your garden. As long as you like it, as long as you're happy. I've got to put up with a blue toilet. Your garden might be a bit of a blue toilet, but it's perfect to you. Perfect. Just a thought. Take care.